gets a reboot with one of the most stunning and successful transformations we can remember. Delmar Caliph. In the beginning, the Toyota Prius was a science experiment. Then it became a phenomenon. Then it matured to be less weird, and then, most recently, it got eye-searingly ugly by even Prius standards. Consequently or not, buyers fled en masse. Throughout those 4 generations, though certain elements remained consistent, they were incredibly fuel efficient, they were loved or hated, unconventional, and they were mind-numbingly uninvolving to drive. For the 5th generation, 2023 Toyota Prius, only one of those things remains true, and it's inevitably the one that matters most. It gets as high as 57 miles per gallon combined with different trim levels and drivetrains dipping only as low as 49 miles per gallon. That's roughly a 5 mile per gallon improvement over before, and puts the Prius back on top of the hybrid fuel efficiency podium. Yet simply getting incredible fuel economy isn't enough anymore in the face of plug-in hybrids and full EVs. That's what makes the new Prius radical transformation so significant. And honestly, do we really need to delve deeply into how much of a visual transformation the 2023 Toyota Prius represents? Despite being underpinned by a strengthened and lightened version of the same TNGAC platform, the Prius has gone from one of the most awkward and ugly cars on the road to something that is well-proportioned, distinctive, and genuinely aesthetically pleasing. This futuristic wretch was legitimately turning heads during our drive, and not because they were seeking a sick bag. The new Prius is actually cool, and unlike that 2nd generation phenomenon, it's not only because of the miles per gallon readout in the instrument panel. Which leads us to another key element: the new 2023 Prius is less likely to put people off by being bizarre. For example, the instrument panel that has always resided atop the middle of the dash has migrated to where it always should have been, directly in front of the driver. Sure, the digital panel is above the steering wheel rim and, as such, may be blocked a bit if you are shorter, but it's also closer to the driver's natural line of sight. The shifter is also now placed on the center console instead of sprouting like a mushroom out of the dash, although it maintains the same left up for reverse, left down for drive movement that's been a staple since the 2nd gen Prius. The shifter hardware itself is basically the same design as what you would find in a Lexus NX or RX. The overall design is also more conventional, which isn't to say dull. Far from it. It's modern, visually appealing, and, well, just look at the before and after below. The standard touchscreen remains 8 inches, but the upgrade is 12.3 inches with the same widescreen orientation and interface as various other recently introduced Toyota and Lexus vehicles. It's also slightly canted toward the driver, as opposed to its portrait-oriented predecessor that sure looked like it was pointing at the passenger. The interface could still use a permanently docked icon or physical button to escape from Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the overly complicated radio interface is a step backward, but overall, this is a sufficiently modern, quick-reacting system. Down below, the center console is higher with more thoughtfully considered storage solutions. It also doesn't look like a toilet as the old one did when painted white. Importantly, the quality of materials has improved, including the dashpad, door tops and Softex simulated leather that no longer looks and feels so obviously simulated. The seats it covers are both more supportive and interesting to look at, with the 1-inch lower hip point that makes them feel like you are sitting in the Prius rather than on top of it. A big part of the seat lowering, however, is because the new Prius roof height is 2 inches lower than before. The decrease is mostly over the front occupants, which should be obvious in the side-by-side photos below.